welcome to the Irresistible Marketing Pod, the podcast that wants you to just break up already. Break up with seeking emotional support from sources who can't, won't, or don't provide it. Because defensive marketing just doesn't sell very well. Because you're speaking to your doubts about your work and sending out, I don't trust the value of my work. I don't know if this is worth it unless you say it is, vibes to your potential clients, which doesn't go so well. And it's really easy to slip into defensive mode when making your marketing. If this is you, when you're having a confidence wobble, a doubt spiral, or a fear response to the uncertainty of entrepreneurship, will they like it? Will they buy it? Will they like me? Who you talk to in that moment matters a lot. Will they reinforce your fears and tell you to settle? Or will they hype up your belief in yourself, in your work, in your people, and how much it matters to the world? Will they hype up your belief in the value that you provide? Will they remind you how totally possible and within your grasp your goals are? Will they reinforce the message that you are worthy of your goals? Will they reinforce the message that of course you can do it? Or are they going to want you to go back to the safer path, or what they consider the safer path according to their own frame of reference and their own value system? Or will they want you to return to a path that doesn't shake them up, that doesn't rattle them, that doesn't leave them questioning their choices and whether they would be more fulfilled doing something else, taking the risk, being more vulnerable? That is threatening to a lot of people, as I'm sure you've already discovered. So, when I catch those defensive vibes in marketing, I can tell that your critics have your ear and your focus. They have your ear and your focus so much that when you make your marketing, you're making it talking to them. You're trying to convince your critics, which means your aligned clients have no fucking idea they're your aligned clients because you're not talking to them, you're talking to your critics. So, when your critics are so loud in your head, when they loom so largely in perspective that when you go to make marketing, it becomes all about them and talking to them and trying to quiet that voice in your head, then the people you are confiding in are literally sinking your marketing efforts. That is why it is so important to have confidants that will encourage you and feed your motivation and belief, not reinforce your fears and doubts. So, be honest. Is your current inner circle more dream killer or dream bringer? Let's talk about it. I'm your host, Isa Gauchi, your marketing confidence cheerleader and owner of the Isa Messaging digital marketing agency for personal brand rebels and small business baddies such as yourself. So, let's talk about what I mean by dream killers. Dream killers often take the form of hopefully well-meaning advice and ideas about what you should do from family and friends and partners, colleagues, acquaintances who have never owned a business or have never owned a successful business, have nothing in common with your ideal client, are extremely risk-averse, people who have spent a lifetime settling for the way things are, forgetting that things are constantly changing. Everything's constantly in flux, and forgetting that there is another option. Settling is not the only viable choice. Dream killing advice can also come from people who are threatened by you asking for more out of your work, out of your day-to-day, how you spend your time, out of your money, out of your relationships, out of your independence, out of your life. If this isn't enough for you, what does that say about them? Because a lot of this dream killing advice is a lot less about you and your business plan and your work and how you express yourself, and a lot more about the person who is delivering this dream killing advice and how they feel about themselves and their choices in these areas. Dream killing advice can also come from people who you have not asked for their advice. People who don't realize that's something you should get consent before delivering. People who, often well-meaning, when they hear of a problem or they hear of your pain or your discomfort or your fear, they go right to problem-solving mode without asking if that's what you want or need. And I can tell you, after working with scores of clients, participating in so many business and entrepreneurial communities, and with an inner circle that is almost all entrepreneurs right now, the above dream-killing advice gets in the way of marketing that actually works way more often than the quote-unquote wrong strategy, or your quote-unquote failure to go viral, or you somehow not being good enough. When I get clients who have been thwarted by internalizing this dream-killing advice for too deeply or for too long of a time, we often have to spend a lot of time and energy and attention undoing the damage of these, again, hopefully well-meaning naysayers. But if that is the messaging that is being reinforced over and over and over again for you, it is like literally scarring your dreams. And don't worry, it's not hopeless. But if that is the messaging you hear the most often, I can almost guarantee you are going to have some extra inner work to do before you are at a place to make the big money, to get the big recognition, to get the big clients. And that inner work is available to you, and there's support available for it. But I want to caution you about who you are trusting with your vulnerability, your vulnerable truth and feeling and experiences as an entrepreneur. Because when you get this dream-killing advice, it messes you up. It leaves some scars. So here is the fix. Very important. Get better confidants. And I'm not going to lie to you, but you usually have to invest to make this happen. Not because this is something that you should be the sort of person who has friends who do this for you, because that's actually not a fair expectation for your friends. Because the circle of people who will get your vision, encourage you to achieve it, not try to talk you out of it or be subtly threatened by it, who have the awareness, capability, and emotional resources to put their own feelings that are triggered about themselves aside to listen and be there for you about this stuff, that circle of people is one you have to very selectively and intentionally build. And they have to be people who are capable of providing that sort of support and who consent to providing that sort of support. Now, I'm not saying you need to ditch your other relationships or not talk to these people who keep giving you dream-killing advice. I'm not saying you have to ditch them or not hang out with them or that they're bad people or whatever. I'm simply saying be very cautious against asking them for support when you doubt yourself, your vision, or your deservingness of your dreams. Like, please don't trust that vulnerability with people who don't know how to hold it or who don't have the capacity, awareness, or skill to. Please invest in mentors and coaches and community who know how to support you in this way and have the emotional capacity to do so and consent to holding that kind of space for you. Because what we're talking about here, the kind of support that you need and you deserve from the person giving it, it is emotional labor. It's emotional labor, which is why it's usually a paid service. Not because you have to pay for friends, which is one of those throwaway phrases I hear about people who struggle to be willing to invest in support like therapy or coaching or consulting or mentorship because they have this odd false belief that the people in their lives should just be able to do that for them. When that's just not true, because often this requires a very specific skill set, a very specific capacity, and it needs to be compensated. And some people just simply do not have the spoons for this or the ability. They don't have the awareness, they don't have the training, they don't have the expertise to hold that kind of space for you. And so I want you to ask yourself if that's been a hang up for you. Have I been asking, have I been expecting the people around me to provide intense emotional labor without realizing it? Not that you don't deserve that support, but it's time to get it from appropriate sources. And there is no shame in paying for it. In fact, I think it's important to pay for that kind of emotional labor because that takes the resentment out of that relationship. It's consent on both sides, and you get the kind of support that's not going to shut you down and is going to lift you up. And the other person is fully consenting to providing that support, has the spoons to, and is being resourced to give you that support in a way that does not drain them. Symbiotic. So this is really important to your business, to you as a CEO, to you being able to make marketing that gets you the results you want. Because when entrepreneurs make this a priority, having safe confidants, having a safe place to go to process the feelings that inevitably come up with entrepreneurship when we take these bigger than average risks, when we allow ourselves to be seen in ways other people would never, when we take on this level of courage and vulnerability. When entrepreneurs make it a priority to invest in support and community, to have safe spaces to process the emotions that come up with this large undertaking, this is when I see tiny audiences grow fast. This is when I see launches that were drawing crickets draw applause. This is when I see bad fit clients fall away so soulmate clients take their place. This is when I see boundaries game like really up level. This is when I see you raise prices and sell 10 times as much. This is when I see you stop having to deal with late payments because you get your systems in orders to not have to deal with fuckery that makes it harder for you to do your job without freaking out about how you're going to pay your bills. This is when I see your soulmate clients get your primary focus because you start saying no to bad fit clients and bad fit projects that leave you doing unfulfilling work, that leaves you feeling stifled or drained or extracted from because you think you have to for the money. So when you get the proper support, the proper reinforcement, the proper perspective shifting, this is when things really change for you. This is when marketing gets way more interesting, more powerful, more effective, because you've ditched the mask and you've stopped playing small. My love, the way you learned to not make waves is holding you back as a business owner. So if the shoulds you've accepted and tried to follow so far have left your business struggling, Isn't it time you tried something else? New ways of thinking, new sources of support, new ways of trusting yourself even when some people don't like it, and being able to not be thrown off when people don't like it because you have built so much self-trust and emotional capacity and resiliency. Imagine how differently you'd show up, how differently business would feel if you had confidants you could trust to amp you up and hold you accountable to your biggest dreams rather than constantly telling you you gotta just settle for less. All you get are the crumbs you're being offered. Which one do you want to be plugged into? Which one do you want to be shaping your worldview? Which one do you want to be influencing how you do business? If you are in need of new sources of support, I would love to work with you. You'd be very welcome in the squad, which is a fabulous community of big-hearted, black sheep, rebel entrepreneurs who are just freaking done playing small and make a habit of regularly shooting the moon and normalizing good stuff coming our way, getting our needs met, having it safe to be getting our needs met on the regular, making like good money from doing fulfilling work only with the people we want to do it for. The squad is part marketing mastermind for motivated, never been done before businesses, part neurofestive entrepreneurial support group so that we are constantly finding ways to make systems work for us rather than trying to stuff our brains into systems that were not built for brains like ours. The squad is also part transformational group coaching as we melt whatever blocks that are getting in the way of you taking and making powerful moves that will get you those big results you want from marketing. In the squad, you get tons of strategic, tactical, and emotional support from me, your marketing confidence cheerleader, plus accountability, friendship, and inspiration from some of the most interesting, unique, glass ceiling busting entrepreneurs around. It's a great place to be. I know you will love it. Now, if you want my undivided attention to help you accelerate through your revenue, reach, and impact goals, you are welcome to work with me in Season of Support, my high-touch, high-efficiency, highly transformative one-on-one program. Now, we do all of what I just said about what we do in the squad, but amplified by 10x. So if you're really ready to tame whatever dragons have been blocking your rapid growth, if you're ready to do the emotional work, to become the person that can hold the clients, the visibility, the money, the following that you've been calling in but have not yet received, if you want to accelerate your marketing processes, your marketing systems, the way you share about what you have on offer, your ownership of the value you provide and the ripple effects of it, if you are ready to get shit done, there ain't no procrastinating here, because if you're not going to do it on your own, I'm going to walk you through it on the call and we're getting it done. We're going to get so much together. If you want to 10x all of that, you're going to want to work with me one-on-one in Season of Support. Now, lucky you, if you are a one-on-one Season of Support client, you get complimentary squad memberships. So you get the best of it all, creme de la creme. Now, if you are brand new to my world and I haven't met you yet, or we've talked in passing, but you're curious about this marketing confidence cheerleading thing, and you want to know, is this a good fit for you? Can I help with the challenges you're facing? Can I help you hit those goals you've been dreaming about? Then let's chat. You can book a Zoom coffee with me. This is a no pressure Zoom meetup where we're just going to talk about what's going on in your business, what's present for you. And right there on this quick little call, I will give you some action steps right away and shifts that you can make right now, right there on the call. This is totally free to book, but please honor system just one Zoom coffee appointment per person. Links for all of that are in the show notes, so you can book your Zoom coffee right now. You can join Squad right now. You can snag me one-on-one as your marketing confidence cheerleader via CSN of support right now. All you gotta do is click, hit, tap, whatever, depending on the player you're listening to this on. Links for all of that are in the show notes. That's all for today. Please don't forget to leave me 5 stars and a kind review on your way out, because it makes me feel real good to hear from you. And also the algos will show this fab free resource to more people the more reviews I get. All right. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And okay, love you. Bye.